I got started in land surveying. I built a laser scanning and modeling company for 10 years, doing projects all over the country in every industry you can think of. The idea for RCN really came from the need for education. Education about the industry, about the pain points, about the struggles of different project types and deliverable needs. The thing that's so complicated about the industry and why I'm focusing on this community is if someone's trying to enter the industry right now, where the heck do you start? You're falling into the algorithm. Half of your own connections never see your content, never see your posts, so you're not engaging with the people that you've even met and connected with. The reason we started this collective platform is that it is a private group of just the people that are relevant to the community. We are trying to build things that are ongoing, that are really relational, that are trying to connect people all year. All the people from the industry sharing what they're currently doing, what the current struggles are. So the information that's going to come from that community is going to be very valuable for people.
You've been building the RCN, you've got a vision. So over the past years, what was one lesson that truly resonated with you?
Thank you. The idea for RCN really came from, I guess the one thing, if I had to pick one lesson, is the need for education. And education not being just technical education. There's a part of that which I could dig into a lot, but really education in whole. Education about the industry, about the pain points, about the struggles of different, project types and deliverable needs. But then also education from the sense of some of what you just saw from Dylan. YouTube content, media, things that help build awareness to the industry, and doing so in a way that is truly educational, giving value to the people that are consuming that data would be one of them. And thank you guys for joining. This is very impromptu and casual. I would love to answer questions. We had a speaker, unfortunately, you may have seen him on the agenda, Barry, who was coming from Europe, and he got sick and had to cancel his travel. So I figured I would just fill the slot using this as a chance to tell you guys a bit about the story of starting RCN, but I would also love to do it in more of an engaging format if you guys actually have questions. My previous background, for those of you who don't know the whole story, I got started in land surveying. I built a laser scanning and modeling company for 10 years, doing projects all over the country in every industry you can think of, from nuclear to oil to high rises. And so all of those experiences over 15 years of being in the industry is what gave me the idea to start RCN. It is now my mission to fill the pain points identified in industry with this community effort. So I can keep unpacking the story as one option. Or if anybody wants to engage, ask a question, or have a conversation with me, just raise your hand or come down to the front.
Absolutely. And we've got a mic over here. Perfect. Here you go, Rami.
Thank you.
Rami. Hi, Rami.
What's up? How are you?
I'm great.
Great. Thank you for having all of us, honestly. We enjoy spending time here in Boise. I don't think we ever would have thought of coming to this city if it weren't for this great event. So thanks for bringing us here.
Since you said that, and this is impromptu, pause, raise of hands, who's here in Boise for the first time? Yeah. Most everybody here. Okay, keep going.
Beautiful city, though, honestly. No one would have ever thought. So I wanted to make it personal, and I want to ask about your kids.
Hey.
Yeah.
Hey. Well,
I want to know how you manage being a dad of 5 beautiful children and yet still being a leader in our industry.
Wow, thank you. And I guess that's a good place. It's a good chance to show I will take any questions. So I do have 5 children. Most people don't know that. They're like, you're just a young entrepreneur traveling the world, right? I'm like, no, I've been married for 15 years. I'm 34 years old. So I got married pretty young. I do have 5 kids. The question that comes up a lot to people, and I see other people answer this question too, right, is work-life balance. And I think what I've learned over the years, including learning from other business owners and successful entrepreneurs, is it doesn't exist. Work-life balance is it is a personal choice, is one thing I would say, right? When you step into entrepreneurship, you're choosing that you're going to have a little bit of a imbalance. There are times when you're building something that you need to go all in on it. When I started in entrepreneurship, I had no idea. I didn't know anything about business. I was 24 years old. I just was so passionate about the technology, I quit and started working for myself. I didn't know anything about employees and management and HR and funding and revenue, nothing. So it was very much a fail forward. The early years of entrepreneurship, of course, the thought was maybe this will mean I can choose my own schedule and work less hours and I'm going to make all the money instead of the other company I used to work at. That is not the case. That is why most startups fail, is that a lot of people go into business thinking that it's going to be simple and that it's going to be better for them, when realistically you look at the quotes of entrepreneurs choose to work 80 hours for themselves instead of 40 for someone else. So when it comes to building something, building a business, becoming an entrepreneur, you have to be so passionate about what you're doing that will carry you through the extra work. So to actually go back to your question a little bit, though, part of how I balance it is self-sacrifice of time. A lot of people, not to say anything against those that do, but a lot of people, right, in general public, what do people do in the evenings? Watch TV all night, or, there's other things they spend their time doing, or they want to sleep in and they sleep till 7 or 8 or 9 and they kind of complain of, I have to go to work in the morning. I don't do that. I get up at 4 o'clock in the morning every single day. I'm excited about work. I'm passionate about what I do. I go to the office. I sacrifice some sleep in the mornings so that I can come in and put in the extra hours before anybody else, right? And I even use it as a metaphorical but physical example of when I drive to work on the road at 4 o'clock in the morning, there's 2 other cars driving. If you want to build something unique, something new, something that not everyone else can do, you have to be willing to put in the work that most other people don't want to put in. So I think self-sacrifice of time, but I also think the work-life balance is important. And so though I get up really early, I also leave the office at 4 o'clock, 4:30 every single day. I'm not working till 8, 9 p.m., never home, traveling. I don't work on the weekends, maybe at night when everyone's in bed, and that's something you just choose. Thanks for the question.
Thank you. Next one. Here you go.
Hi, Matt.
Hi.
What's the most challenging thing you faced starting the business, and how did you tackle it and do you see yourself doing it the same way after all these years?
Great question. And the first business or this one? So I guess to answer that, building the first company, not knowing anything about business, I thought maybe the hardest part of business was finding the work or finding the opportunities, and that was not the case for me. I found a lot of opportunities because when I started, it was easy to find people who didn't know what scanning was and would be willing to trial a project, and they would hire you to do it, and it paid decent. Like, finding work was great. Scaling a company and actually starting to bring on your first employees, and this weird thing where like they want to get paid every 2 weeks. But then like the client doesn't want to pay you for 30 days or 90 days, and then a bank doesn't want to loan you money because you don't already have money, and it's like a broken system. That is the hardest part of building a company. And when I started, I changed from a very not motivated worker to becoming so passionate about this that I didn't really have a plan. I just quit my job, started consulting. If I didn't land a job and get paid in 2 weeks, I would have not had money for groceries for my family, and I already had 2 kids. So I look back and say, I wouldn't advise that you do that. I would probably save some money first, have some capital to start your company with. But at the same time, you hear a lot of entrepreneurs or people that tell these stories of early companies where it's like, the fact I didn't have a safety net is also what I think really drove the work to, I am going to work and do everything I can to find that job, right? If you're comfortable and you just don't need to worry about it, you're not going to put in the same level of effort.
Okay, next question.
All right. So for smaller companies like myself entering the space, what do you think is the best way to get value from being active in this community beyond just networking?
So that is a big question. It depends on what it is you're trying to build and do. So the thing that's so complicated about the industry and why I'm focusing on this community is if someone's trying to enter the industry right now, where the heck do you start? Watch content for these 3 days and you're like, there's drones, there's scanners, there's survey, there's XR, there's modeling, there's 700 software platform. Like choosing what to focus on and actually what technology to use and the understanding of how to truly use that technology. One of the biggest pain points that still exists in the industry around laser scanning specifically, which was where my hardcore focus was, is understanding how to actually capture data accurately. And I love all of our vendors. However, there is not enough education around actual workflows for large projects, survey control, targeting integrations, errors that build up in data. So everybody who's been scanning knows exactly what I'm talking about. You're like, we are failing with these jobs. We don't even know how to fix the data. Well, who's helping solve that problem? So I'm like going on tangents. But I think the biggest value to get out of the community is the shared knowledge, right? And that's some of our goal with not just the content, but even the committees. It's with our membership platform where you can go in and post and ask a question. Hey, I'm struggling with this scan registration. Well, guess what? There's 50 people who have already worked through that who can help you overcome that, instead of everybody that's entering the industry hitting their head against the wall with the same problems that we've already worked through the past 20 years. So ultimately, I think it's the idea of a community is the shared information. It's the shared learning. It's the shared case studies. And it is the networking. A lot of people are competitive, right? They're like, I don't want to work with, people who do what I do because I want to take their, I am so against even saying competitors, because when I started scanning and I started on my own, guess who all of my clients were? Scanning companies. Because I was truly open to collaboration. I very much am the type of person that I'm not going to go behind your back and go try to steal your client. I just genuinely want to offer support and help if you need an extra hand, if you need support. And so much of the community is collaborative. And I think that we as a community inspire people to be collaborative and be open. So if I was in your shoes and I was starting into scanning, I would be here trying to meet other scanning people, ask the right questions of what technology you're trying to use, workflows, types of projects you're pursuing, and also collaborate with them. And the collaboration is needed because the desire for these services is growing. And one big challenge that's always existed is I was in California. I would get flown all the way to New York to scan a staircase. And I'm like, okay, this is not like long term. There has to be someone else over there. They just don't know them. And that's why for me, getting into media stuff, right? I got on LinkedIn pretty early. I live there, for those of you who don't know. I was taking screenshots of data. I was taking pictures of me scanning and not doing it in like a bragging way or a sales way, but genuinely just doing posts educating people of like, here's why I'm scanning this staircase and look at this data. It's incredible. Over time, that compounded to people just reached out to me for that type of work. But long term, there needs to be more collaboration. It does not make sense for me to fly across the country to scan a staircase, right? Long term, someone would rather reach out to you, any of you, to a project that is near you if you're open to collaborating on it.
Okay, next one. Okay, gentleman over there, and then you.
Sorry, I know we're juggling.
Hey, Matt.
Hi.
Hey, I'm going to tag off the collaboration part there.
Cool.
So you just started the RCN Collective. Can you tell us about that and why it's so important that we collaborate and join that community?
Sure. I've been going to conferences for 12 years or so, and I love them because I meet people, I network, but then I go home and I have a stack of business cards and I'm like, who was this guy again? And it's like, do do I just want to send a cold email to every single person, or I lost the business card, now I have no idea who it was that I met. And even on social media, on LinkedIn, right, you're falling into the algorithm, right? Half of your own connections never see your content, never see your posts, so you're not engaging with the people that you've even met and connected with. The reason we started this collective platform is that it is a private group of just the people that are relevant to the community. So when you get in there, you can see every member, you can direct message them. You don't have to ask me, who's a part of RCN? It's like, well, just log into the platform and look at the whole membership directory. Reach out to whoever you want. See what they do. Reach out and connect. Start collaborating. And there's other things that we're going to build into the platform. All of our conference sessions, we fully film, record them all. We will be hosting those in the platform. We've already got content in there from some of our previous conferences. The one we did in Orlando this year, that content does not live anywhere else. So we will start to formulate data inside of there that is also a go-to for insights, right? And if you're someone new entering the industry, what's the best way to get a feel for the industry? Watch all these presentations of all the people from the industry sharing what they're currently doing, what the current struggles are on panels. So the information that's going to come from that community is going to be very valuable for people.
Mm-hmm. Okay, the next question from here. Okay, here we go.
Hi, Matt.
Hi.
Matt. Knowing that anything's possible, what is the next actionable, definitive milestone for RCN?
Great question. Actionable, definitive. So that's a good question. There's a few changes next year. So this year, we kind of tested the waters of doing a few different conferences. We went and hosted a full-on 3-day conference in Orlando. We went and did a collaboration in Prague and Europe because, again, out of the raise of hands, right, there was a bunch of people coming to Boise for the first time. It's kind of hard to get people here, but I appreciate all those that do come. We are keeping our main conference here in Boise, and next year we are expanding it a lot. We know that we have struggles in some of the vendor space here. We are actually moving to the downtown Boise Center, so we'll have a lot more space. Our event change next year is going to be a big thing for us. So that's the first thing that comes to mind for me because it's a whole new initiative. It's 90 exhibitors instead of 30. There's a lot that goes into putting on these conferences. And then the other thing that we're trying to really put a lot of effort into is the committee work. We truly believe that is going to launch some very important things that we keep hearing, right? The need for standards, the need for people being aligned. We need certifications. I don't know if that's a direct answer, but those are the couple things that come to mind.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, next question. Let's make it personal. There are some that have been posted on Slido, but let's make it personal. Okay, perfect. Jason, go ahead.
How you doing, Matthew? Jason Young. What is your biggest takeaway thus far? What's a key takeaway or your best story so far? Favorite part? Because we don't get to sit in your shoes all the time, but we'd love to ask you those questions like I did on the podcast. What is your takeaway from this event, and what do you see that we could improve on, or what you love? Just a cool story, that's all.
I will be honest and say I wish I had a better answer for you, but my whole job and goal being here is to help everyone else have great takeaways. So I am running around behind the scenes we're swapping speakers, we're swapping out panelists, people are canceling, moving here. It's really helping just juggle the event. My favorite part is getting to spend time, in the evenings and out in the exhibit hall, just meeting with people. I personally know at least half of the attendees of the conference, right? So for me, it's just awesome to see so many friends come together. My goal is when I talk with you is who are you here to meet? What are you trying to get out of being at the conference? So, I wish I had a better answer for you, but my biggest takeaway is helping other people get value.
Okay, next one, ladies and gentlemen, over here.
Hi, Matt.
Hi.
Just a quick question. Do you still get the wow factor when you see a really impressive scan of
I will. Always will.
It's great, isn't it? It's sad, but great.
Yes. Yeah.
What's your favorite scan? that you've
Favorite
seen?
scan?
Yeah. What building looks most impressive as a 3D scan
Oh
that
my
you've seen?
goodness. There's been so many, honestly, over the years. We've worked on some really cool projects.
Not necessarily one you did, just one that you've looked at.
Just looked at. Well, it would definitely be some of the like castles, cathedrals, even some of the VFX stuff that we saw from Travis in the entertainment space. Some of the work that's out there is just so visually amazing. The one that comes to mind for me that we personally worked on a couple years ago, though, was with Dallas-Fort Worth Airport, working on one of their big terminals that was 3 million square feet. And by the time you did every single room in and out and 4 levels and outside, and you had this just data set that all came together and aligned, and you're slicing through looking, seeing something massive like that, even when it's not the most beautiful, the size and scale and seeing it solve problems is incredible. But the data is so visual, and it's also why it's such an interesting technology that I encourage more people to, like, if you're in this work, take screenshots, share data, share posts, get on media. Part of my goal, and this goes back to maybe even an initiative that we are going to launch. I have way too many ideas and too many things we want to do and launch, but one of them is we plan to expand our podcast network. We don't just want it to be us. We want to create places for other people to share. My goal is encouraging other people to get on LinkedIn. It's not just me, but it's like, what have we seen be successful for creating awareness, for educating, and how can we get other people that are experts in the industry to align on some of these things? And long term, we may grow our team enough to actually even help support producing those things and actually helping launch those for people, because there's incredible work out there that nobody's seen because no one's posted it, or shared it, or stories that haven't been heard because no one else is sitting on a podcast. So we really hope to see some of these initiatives that have been successful for us continue to grow for other people. And I'll even tack onto that with, I know we've talked about it a little bit. You asked about us coming and partnering potentially on an event in Europe. And we have been asked to do events everywhere. Australia, Canada. I've had multiple people just this week ask about different countries and, South America. And we have a long-term vision to do that. And this year, us going to Prague, us going to Orlando, it was kind of a test of that. But we are a 10-person team, and doing all of these things is a lot of work. So we have to continue to scale our team, scale the events. And this is even go back where I said about the membership platform. There's a small monetization piece there. We need to, if you want us to launch other events, we have to figure out how to continue to grow and be able to support that. But if I was to say 10 years from now, I would say that there is a conference in 10 countries and that it's not just us who run them and I'm not just the face of it. Like, we want to take this community that we built and the value we've seen from it and truly help launch it around the world to make the same impact that we continue to see it make here.
Mm-hmm. Next question. Okay, brilliant. Here you go.
I have seen the involvement in Boise State increase massively over the last 3 years, returning from a student to now with a startup. I've seen the stages and seen being the only student to dozens of students. What's the connection with Boise State and where's it going?
I appreciate that question. And I actually like your story. I think we're going to do a podcast we talked about maybe. So what was it? 3 years ago, you were a bartender at our conference and you're like, what is this conference about? And now you're attending and you have a startup in the space, right? So, hey, look, we're making an impact. Yeah. Hey, thanks. Appreciate appreciate you being here. Part of our goal is to, when we talk about inspire people, it's not inspire only people that are set in their career to start using a scanner. It's also to inspire students to get creative and figure out problems they can solve in this industry. And so we want to grow our involvement with universities, with education. I've had school boards and like government people reach out asking about how can we influence curriculum in universities? How can we get involved with training material? So this year, for the first time, we did have a pretty big partnership grow with Boise State. There were a couple professors who came and attended the conference last year, and they followed up this year, and they were like, your conference was incredible. It was amazing. The technology is the people. But the one thing that surprised us is nobody else from Idaho or from the university was at the conference. Like, it was very low participation. This year, we went around and got to speak with 6, 7, 8 different departments, and they really advocated for, like, we would love to have Boise State get involved with this. Those that are staying till the end of the conference, which I hope is the majority, there is a full panel of professors that is closing out the conference from different departments across Boise State University, sharing about how digital twins or related technologies are being used within their departments. And then we also made an agreement to open it up to students throughout the day to come in and sit and listen to what industry is doing, right? Because what are the students considering, right? What jobs do they want to get? What do they want to pursue? What internships might they be looking for? So we hope to continue to grow how we can make an impact between students, between universities, between curriculum, down to even job placement. Appreciate the question.
All right, next one. We have time for 1, maybe 2 more questions. Okay, use that opportunity. Cool.
Matthew Shannon, Devon, Shield Sexton talked last night.
Yeah.
What's been your most rewarding experience, whatever, so far this conference?
Honestly, it probably would be that. It would be having all these students come in and actually get to be a part of the event. I think that would be my biggest, exciting and good change, right? I love all the content. I love all the presentations. I do love meeting people. I do that a lot. And so it's not like any of those are a huge change or big takeaway for me personally. But I'm glad that it's making an impact on a bunch of other people. Just yesterday, we had over 100 students come through and get to listen. So it's like, man, that is a lot of future potential to bring into this space. So that's been very exciting.
Okay, time for 1 more question. Oh, brilliant. Here you go.
Hi, Laura from GeoWeek. And I just wanted to kind of echo what you said about collaboration and partnering. GeoWeek feels super lucky to be able to partner with RCN. But I wanted to ask if there was like one takeaway that you hope that everyone in this room gets from attending RCN. Like, what's the one thing that you hope that everyone here walks away with?
Great question, and thank you. And we do love partnering with GeoWeek. That's hard because there's so many one takeaways that I would love people to have. I think if I had to pick one, I would probably say the value of actually being part of a real community, because I think that's one of the big differences that we are. And even in conversation about GeoWeek, right? We love GeoWeek. We love being a part of GeoWeek. It's an amazing conference. But we are trying to build things that are ongoing, that are really relational, that are trying to connect people all year, and that's why we're at GeoWeek too, right? Is like, we want to bring this community to GeoWeek. We want GeoWeek to be here. And that goes for every partnership, though, that we talk about, collaborating with other events or other communities. Is, again, I said this in my opening talk, is like, my desire is you see me on LinkedIn a lot, you see us post a lot of content, and yes, I am trying to grow followers and spread and become viral. But why? Because the more people that find out what I'm doing and what we're doing, the more people we can bring here, the more people that can meet you. But the true value in community is actually caring about the value of the people in the community more than the value that we get out of building the community. And when your mindset becomes giving other people value more than just coming and seeing what you can get out of it, you end up getting more value out of it. And it goes to, many of you may know Gary Vaynerchuk, which is a social media marketing guy online, which surprisingly, there's a lot of people in our industry that don't follow people in that realm. But something that he talks about a lot is give, and then you have your ask. And when you do that in a genuine way, not in a way of like, hey, I'm going to give you value, but there's a string attached. Like, you have to give me value back. When you actually genuinely give people value, they see that and they see that it's genuine and they want to give back to you. And I just encourage more people to do that in all of the relationships they build, and have that mindset going into conferences and going into networking is not just look for yourself, but like, who can you meet and what are they looking for and how can you add value back to them? Relationship building is what let me build all of this. Starting back to the, starting of the company, there's a lot of people that scan. So why would people reach out to me to scan? Because of customer service, because of caring about them, because of going out of my way and answering the late calls and always trying to make sure that they have what they need. If they needed something additional, am I going to always upcharge, or am I willing to, lend a hand when I need to? Like, when you start having that in how you treat people, it really makes a big difference. So that was a very long question. Thanks, Laura. Answer to the question, but.
Matthew, we are gradually running out of time, and I have maybe one more question to conclude this Ask Me Anything session. So we're halfway through the conference, one and a half day one and a half day ahead of us. What would be a message for all of us over here in the room to get the most out of it, most out of the time that we still have?
One, I would say double checking the agenda and attending the sessions that you're interested, that are relevant for you. And maybe even attend ones that you think aren't, because you'll learn something interesting as well. I think just trying to take away what I just shared, right, is continue finishing out the conference, building relationships with people, giving us feedback, because the changes that we make as we grow are going to be based on how we can provide more value to people and the feedback we get back. Otherwise, just enjoying your time. Well, if you couldn't tell, we do like having fun as well. We go to a lot of conferences that you end the sessions and then you dissipate and you don't get to meet people. We like putting on events where you get to have fun all evening, because we think that's where a lot of the relationships are built. After you hear all the content, go talk about it with people. So,
brilliant.
That's it.
Anything else you would like to add at the very end?
I appreciate you all being here, and would love, not in a salesy way, would love to have you join the the collective and be a part of the community. Continue to give us feedback. And this is the first year we're as early as we are in having dates and location for conference next year. So if you did enjoy it, would love for you to help us spread the word, because I tell people this all the time. They're like, how can we help you grow? I'm like, if all of you brought one more person to the conference, we would double our conference. So, don't keep all the knowledge and the information and the amazing, time that you have to yourself. Help us continue to build the community, because all it does is provide more value back to all of those that participate.
A big hand for Matthew.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks so much.
Appreciate it.